everybody! Welcome to my YouTube channel. I absolutely love doing that. So it's Ms. Porsche over here, and we are finally talking about the big event, the pink elephant in the room, the thing that I'm always talking about, and that is my car accident. I don't know why I'm saying this with a smile, but this is quite a big testimony, and I always tell people that I'm here today and I'm alive because of that. So please like, share, subscribe, especially if this does impact you or somebody has gone through something like this. Please do share this. And I also want to just shout out to voiceovers and stuff for actually shooting this video. So super excited for more of these podcasts to come. So okay, the car accident. So I do think that we're definitely going to have a part one and a part two and maybe even more parts because this story is so long. It has a background story. It has the actual accident itself and everything that happened even afterwards up until today. So I think it's very important not just to speak about the testimony and how God saved me and God got me out of the car, but I think the journey and what it has done for me. So basically, this car accident happened in 2021, okay, and I have never been the same ever since. The big thing that I want people to understand is that I kind of like took an oath or a pledge and I decided that for the rest of my life, I'm going to tell people the story because I would not be here today if it was not because of God saving my life. I am an actual miracle. I was saved by an actual angel in human form, that is. So, anyway, my car accident happened on a day. I was coming from church. We had fasting and prayer. It was in February. And I had just moved from Pretoria East because I was living with my aunt because I just moved from Potchefstroom and I didn't have a place to stay. So I was living with my aunt for a few months just to kind of like find my feet and get a place in Centurion. And I had just basically moved to Centurion. My car was at the dealership for about 2 months. And really, I think the background story will probably be part two because we do need the background story for everything else to make sense, right? So I went to church that Wednesday and I woke up feeling very weird that day. I even always say, I know it's like just a little piece of information, but I had some weird thing as well on my nose that was so sore. So it was just a very weird day. And I had like a huge fight with some person, some telecom person, because, they were being nasty to me about my phone that was in repairs for like months. And that specific time, so I think it was definitely a Wednesday. The fasting and prayer started on Monday. And that Wednesday, I just said to my mom, I don't actually want to go to church. My mom was like, you have never said you don't want to go to church. Anyway, eventually got into the car. I think I was even a little bit late, got to church, did the fasting and prayer session, and drove back home. All right. So this is what happened. I'm driving back home. My car started making a weird sound that I'd never heard before. So what had happened is before the car actually went to the dealership for repairs and for the service, it did make a very, very loud sound that I'd never heard before. And I've had this car since 2012. And on this specific day, it made a sound not as bad as the sound that I heard the day that I had to take it in. And I kind of like, I did actually record on my phone because every time, I don't know if this has happened to you guys, but when something is wrong, whether it's a device, something will happen when you're like at home or you're driving the vehicle, and then when you take it to the dealership, there's no noise and there's nothing happening there. So I took a voice recording because I'm like, there's a sound in my car and no one's gonna believe me because I've already taken the car to the dealership. And then got into the highway driving. My friend was in front of me, Lorato, and so this is what happened. I just started seeing Lorato drive super, super fast, and I'm like, Lorato never drives super fast. And I literally just saw Lorato just drive. And I didn't understand why is she driving that fast. And next thing I looked around and I started seeing other cars literally passing me at like high speeds. And then to my greatest shock, I looked at my speedometer and I just literally saw my car slowing down. Like it literally went from 120 to 60, like real quick. And that's when I realized, like I felt like I was in a movie because my car was slowing down. And that's when I realized I'm trying to push the accelerator, but my car is not moving faster. It's like actually slowing down at a rapid rate. And that's when I realized, okay, so literally it was about 120, 60, 20, and I put on my hazards because I was like, I was in the second lane, so second fast lane. So there's about 4 lanes coming in and 2 lanes coming in. So it's actually like six big lanes. I'm in the second fast lane. My car stops dead. And I am freaking out because I'm like, is this a movie? Am I dreaming? I'm seeing cars. And it was literally like Fast and the Furious. It was like Final Destination, guys. People were like dodging my car, these screeches and everything. My car is dead still. I'm trying to start this thing, nothing. Like it actually felt like, when it's never happened to me before, but I would think it's like this when your battery just dies. And so long story short, one of the things I remembered, I tried to call my friend. I tried to call Lorato. I don't know what Lorato must do because Lorato now is left and she's way ahead of me. I tried to call Lorato. I tried to call one of my friends as well. he is in Centurion, but I'm trying to call him to come and help me. I don't know how, because I think there was like a little bit of insanity happening there, and like you're in denial because you're like, is this really happening to me? And eventually I realized that if I don't get out of the car anytime soon, I'm gonna die. So I literally remember our pastor saying that evening, he said, sometimes you find yourself in situations and circumstances where the only name that you can call is the name of Jesus. That's when I started literally saying, Jesus, please help me. Jesus, I just started saying the name of Jesus, and I reached down to the passenger seat where bottom of the passenger seat where my bag was, because I realized if I don't get out of this car, I'm gonna die. And as I started saying that and asking Jesus to help me, because I realized like I'm gonna die. Like I'm literally, people are gonna smash this car, I'm gonna fly out and it's over. So I need to get out of this vehicle because it's not moving. And as I was doing that, reaching down, I looked to the left and I saw a white Corolla reversing. And there was this man that rolled down his window. I'm rolling down the passenger window and he's asking me what's happening. And I mean, at that point, really, I don't think I was in my right mind. And I started saying to him, do you have a triangle? I know I've got a triangle in my boot, but like, I just wasn't okay. And I think he realized this girl needs help because I didn't, because I'm like, my car's not moving and I'm trying to tell him and there's cars and everything. It's just a mess. So eventually this man that doesn't know me, a stranger, complete stranger, he gets out of his car and he runs past what is like, about 4 lanes, gets into my car and he starts asking me what's going on, and I tell him my car's not moving. My car just stopped, and he's like, "Try to start it." He's like, "Is it the battery?" I'm like, "Can't be the battery. I literally bought a battery less than like 2 months ago." And then eventually he's like, "Okay, we need to get out of here." I'm like, "I'm cool. Like, let's go, right?" And I really want to I really want to have a conversation with this man as well. Like, we're gonna get him on the channel, and so that he can also tell his side of the story. And he says to me, "Okay, we need to get out." He asked me, "Are you wearing heels?" Because he could see I'm kind of like dressed formally because I think I just came from work or something that day, went straight to church. I'm like, "I'm not wearing heels. I'm wearing flats. I'm ready to run." He's like, "Okay, we need to get out." I'm like, happy with that. And then literally, as we're trying to get out of the car, and I think this is one of the flashbacks that I had over and over. I believe it was a Dodge, very huge car, and we were trying to get out of the car. But as we're trying to get out of the car, I just hear this loud screech, and this car is coming at us. And now I've taken off my seatbelt because we need to get out of the car, right? He doesn't have a seatbelt on either because we're trying to get out of the car. So just picture this: this car is coming at a rapid rate or speed, and I just hear the screeching, and this car's like, obviously this man or woman hits the brakes, and at this point I'm just like, okay, God, like we're gonna die. It's over. And I think in my head I'm also thinking now I could have possibly killed somebody's son. And we're just sitting there and you just hear this the brakes. And I don't know to this day. Well, I believe it was angels. I know it was God, but that car braked. I don't know how close to my car, but it literally stopped, a dead stop. And I just saw the lights and I thought, okay, it's over. So I opened my eyes. I'm like, okay, we made it. And this man was so sweet and so compassionate. I don't even understand how he was so calm. And he just looked at me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Dude, we just almost died. How are you asking me? Am I okay?" The sweetest man. Oh, guys, the sweetest man. So I tell him, "Okay, I'm fine. I'm calm." He's like, "Okay, you're ready to go." As we try to get out of the car again, there's another car that like basically almost went past with my car's side mirror, because this guy was also trying to dodge us. We were just trying to get out of the car, but it was so impossible because every time we try to open the door, try to get out, there's just cars. Eventually we get out of the car, and we're now standing against my car with our backs like this. I'm holding my bag. I don't even know if he was holding my bag or I was holding my bag, but we're standing now against the car and we're trying to get a moment to run, because there's cars passing, there's cars dodging my car, there's 2 lanes coming in, and now we have to run past 3 of these lanes because I'm in the second, 2 of these lanes. And eventually I just remember seeing there was a huge truck in this lane, this incoming these 2 lanes that are coming onto the actual highway. And I see this truck and he's like, say, "Okay, now we need to run." I still don't know to this day how I ran, because my legs literally felt like jelly. Like, and I know that that man was holding my hand and he dragged me past the lanes. But as we start to run, or about to start to run, the truck moves. Now I'm just like, "Oh my soul, like we're gonna die. We're gonna die." Because if it's not a car that's coming that's gonna smash us, it's gonna be the truck. And obviously the truck was first in line. So if the truck moves, the cars that are behind the truck are gonna start moving. Whoo, guys, I'm even getting like goosebumps talking about this. So eventually we run and we dodge these cars that are like behind the truck as well. I don't know. how I ran. I don't know how I was able to run that fast. How this man dragged me, and we eventually got to the yellow lane. We eventually got to the side of the road and by his car. Again, as I say, I honestly think I was not in my right mind. And then I said to him, can I please borrow your charger? So obviously, my phone has always been a problem for those of you that know. But I was like, I need to call somebody because like my phone was like basically dead. And he's just like to me. So that was the only like conversation I had with him. And he said, no, go to the side of to the passenger seat. That you'll find the charger in there. He's like, what phone do you have? That was the only conversation we had. Those are the words that we passed and between each other. And that's all it took. And I just remember, I'm actually shaking. It's so weird. I remember hearing this. I think I looked up and then there was this loud bang. And I literally looked up and I saw my little small car being smashed. I saw my car being smashed and I just saw like a lot of like lights. Um, I just yeah, it was not a good picture, and it was like the loudest bang I've ever heard in my entire life, and just like not flames, but what do you call like sparks, and it like that's all it took, and I literally lost it. I lost it because I saw my car being squashed. I saw this thing happening, and it was like it was a matter of a few seconds. It was a matter of split seconds, and I think that's when it hit me that had I been in the car, had I still been in my car just a little bit longer, or had we not been able to cross the time that we crossed, um, that I would have died. Like I really would have died. And I don't know if it was like it was relief, it was fear, it was everything. It was all the emotions all packed in one. And I literally just I remember I just started crying. I don't even and this man, his name is Chris. Oh, his name is Chris. And Chris, like I don't even know where he was before that, but Chris just like literally caught me because I couldn't stand. Because my mom always says like, shock does something to your body. My whole body was shaking. I've never felt anything like that. Um, my whole body was shaking out of shock and I couldn't even stand, and I was like crying uncontrollably because like I'm saying, it only hit me then that I almost just died. Like I almost lost my life. And oh my gosh, and I just remember just crying. Like I was holding on to this poor man. I was like just yeah, it was a mess. And I remember while I'm crying, I think after I cried and he was like, just get in the car. And I couldn't see the driver. So what happened is my car got hit by a Hilux. So obviously it's like a bakkie hitting a little small car. And I just remember feeling like I didn't see what happened. There was no movement after that. And I just remember my feelings were, oh my, like God, I've killed someone. I've killed somebody's husband. I've killed someone's child. Because nobody was coming out of the car. And I didn't know what was happening. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? And you know, after that, it was just a mess. I just remember, I don't know, I don't even remember to this day. Did I call my dad or did those, I call them the vultures, but they come and save people's lives. Those people that are always on the highways when accidents happen and they there in like 2 seconds. It's like they're anticipating that you're about to have a crash, but they were there and they're trying to help me. And then it's they're trying to call ambulances. Then my dad was on the phone and my poor dad. I think I was just crying. I couldn't speak and my dad's like, "Yay!" In Donna, that means what is it?
Are they anticipating it or are they actually speaking it into existence? Let's talk about that in part two.
Am I carrying on? Who's speaking it into? You mean like the vultures? All the vultures. It's not that they're speaking it, but they're always there, and I just think for me, I wish I could speak to one of them, like be their friend, because those people come so quickly. I don't even know. Do they like? How do they know how to do the U-turn? Are they already? Because some of them, they're not even like they're not on the road already, but
That's my thing. Like, that's my thing.
hey man, what I'm saying is that I don't know, everything happened so quickly, but those people were like they were there and they were also so sweet. I must say they were like really the sweetest, which is good. I don't know if they go through trauma counseling because they probably see some scary stuff, but I'm not like against them. I'm appreciative of them because I know that the one guy I couldn't speak and he was speaking to my dad, and then it was insurance. I would be like, yeah. Then it was insurance. I don't know. It was a mess, and I don't remember much of that evening. I really don't remember. And you know, I was saying earlier, I think like my mind has like probably it's erased some things because of the trauma. But then I think later on, then my aunt and them came, and my friend Christian also came, the one that I wanted to call from Centurion. I don't even know how he found out, but I think he knew that I was coming from church and I had called him. He saw the missed call. So there was so much that happened, but basically, okay, the driver of the Hilux didn't die, thank God. And you know, that's why I say I really need to get Chris on the channel because I really need to hear his side of the story as well. But somewhere in the middle of all of that, he also took the video of not of the crash happening, but the video of the just after the crash happened. He took a video of that, and I don't even know why he did that. But by the grace of God, that actually saved me because of that saved me with insurance because I had to prove that I had my hazards on and all these other things. Yeah, that's another story for another day as well. I just think, when it comes to insurance, they need to also realize that people are going through trauma, and then you have to now say the story 3 times. Ooh, guys, I think that was the worst thing. I don't think I've even really spoken to a lot of people about what happened that night. But with insurance, you need to literally explain the story and go through the trauma again. That was the most traumatic experience of my life. But yeah, then obviously after that, it's police station and all these other things. So, the reason that I'm sharing the story is just, there definitely will be a part two. But the reason I'm sharing the story is like, it sounds very dramatic and very like it sounds like a movie. And a lot of people that even know that road will tell you a lot of accidents there, people don't make it. Another thing that's crazy is people say, like with Chris was a stranger, and I remember I asked him, like, guys, I was like, even after the accident, I would text this guy and be like, oh my gosh, thank you for saving my life, you're my angel. And I asked him, like, Chris, what made you come and save me? Because it's like 8:30 at night on the highway in Pretoria, like in Pretoria and Joburg, no one's gonna stop for anybody, you know? And he just said something told him to come back because he literally reversed in the yellow lane. He reversed for me. And he was like, he doesn't know what made him come back from that. He said he just had a feeling that he had to come and help me. So he was literally an angel. I think there was even a time in my life I was like, is this guy even real? Like I looked at his WhatsApp and there was a time when he was like, I'm like, was this guy an angel or is he like really human? And it's so funny because a friend of mine I think it's like my friend's relative is related to him. So it's a very small world. But yeah, he actually has like a shuttle service company. And yeah, so wow. But this guy, like he came to my rescue literally because I know to this day had I stayed in the car I don't think I would have had the guts because I was already so scared because every time I was thinking, okay, if I come out this side, then the first lane these cars are going to hit me. And I don't know, like I would have taken longer to get out of the car. I would have probably been scared. I don't know how I would have ran like past 2 lanes and then the other 2 lanes. I don't think I would have been able to run by myself. So this man had to come and get me out of the car. He risked his life, a stranger. Is that not God, guys? And I literally just, all I remember saying is I asked Jesus to help me because I realized, like, I was actually speaking at a 30th 2 weeks ago, like, or actually rather sharing the word of God, preaching at a 30th as a guest speaker. And I remember I just said to them, one thing I know about human beings, and I know because I experienced it, none of us actually want to die. Like when your life is at risk, you start begging God to save you. I was begging God, like I was like, Jesus, please, I don't want to die. Please save me. Because I realized I'm dead. Like I'm gonna be mince in a few seconds. So God sent that guy at the right time and he got me out of the car. It's insane. Like there was a time when I was a little bit when I lost my mind and stuff and I was like, I want the footage. Because people couldn't even believe when I said someone got me out of the car. Like people didn't understand my exit. I didn't even understand. I was like, I don't even know how my life because some of the things I can't remember. I don't know how I ran. I don't know why this man risked his life, ran and risked his life, got into my car, risked his life, got out of my car, ran with me, and he was there till the end. He was even when we went to the police station, he was there till the end. Even when I had to like speak to the insurance, he was like, the insurance can call me. He was not just the support system at that point. He was there up until my family came, up until we went to the police station. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. I've never met such a selfless person that risked his life. And I mean, I would have never been okay if, let's say, a car did bump us and we didn't die and we both crippled. I would have never forgiven myself because somebody would have come in and they risked their lives and they don't, a stranger. So everything about my car accident is so supernatural. And that's why I always talk about my car accident. I think like for 2 years straight, I would like even post things on the day because people are like, you've been so extra. You're not the first person to have a car accident. No, y'all don't know what I went through. You guys don't know what was happening in that car. I literally felt the presence of God in the car because God is the one that saved me, guys. Yes, obviously he used Chris, but it's insane how it like if anything, if something had happened just differently with just a few split seconds, I wouldn't be sitting here today. That is why, this was my life-changing story. This is my near-death experience, and it has changed me. I really want to talk about the after effects of the car accident in part 2, because that's like the biggest testimony of all. But I said to God, like, God, you gave me a second chance at life. I mean, guys, there was even times when I would literally just sit there at night and ask God, why did you save me? Why did you save me, God? Come on, you need to tell me why did you save me? I was literally like asking God every day. There has to be a reason. So yeah, that's the car accident story. That's the car. I don't even think I'm doing it justice. That's how crazy this car accident was. But it's been quite a long journey, and part 2 is the after effects. So yeah, that's the car accident story, guys.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, please do.
So there's a whole lot of cheat codes when it comes to our journey as Christians, right? Mm-hmm. And what I've realized is that, you kept on saying Jesus, 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 right? Mm-hmm. That made me realize that God's intervention will happen when we send him our invitation.
Come on.
So you send that invitation, actually, and that is why the intervention happened.
I agree.
So that's proper.
I agree.
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
You better say that name. That's the only name above all other names. I didn't call my mom. I called the name of Jesus Christ, and I knew that name has power. So if that's all you take from this video, there's times in your life where you will shout the name of Jesus, and he says in his word, and he promises us, when you call on my name, I will be there and I will answer. He's the only God that answers by fire. So that's my God, and that's why I'm still here. So the devil thought he gonna kill me, but I'm not done yet, and I'm still here. Yeah. Awesome, man. So check out part 2. This is a very difficult thing for me to do, but check out part 2. And if you have any comments, please comment if you've gone through anything like this. If you've experienced the presence of God in a situation like this where you called him and he came through, please do comment. I really want to interact with you guys. And if you even have questions or other things that you want me to discuss in part 2, please do comment, like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much to VoiceOver and stuff for covering this. See you in the next one.